Hey everybody, welcome back. Pop Retro. Find us at Pop Retro 1 on Twitter and Instagram, facebook.com/Pop Retro 1. And also you can check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Pop Retro. Just wanted to spend a couple minutes today to check out a new to me release from Arrow Video. I purchased this during their big Shocktober sale back in October. And it is the SLAYER 1982, also known as Nightmare Island, depending on where you might have seen it released back in the day. So this is an independent horror film directed by J.S. Cardone. Now, this was shot in Georgia, an independent production, one of those regional horrors that were I guess pretty popular back in the day, even if a lot of us didn't get to see them originally because of just the small distribution that they had. So often these films would get just a small theater window and then go straight to VHS, and sometimes even those VHS releases were really hard to pick up on, as they were only released in certain territories or certain parts of the country, you know, as regional films. So essentially you have two couples, a woman and her husband, and then this woman's brother and his wife. Two couples decide to go on a vacation. And of course, where do they have to go? They have to go to, the island out in the middle of nowhere. So some dude gives them a ride on his plane out to this island. They land on the beach. They find this pretty cool beach house. It looks run down from the outside, but on the inside, it's really like classically just beautiful. Just it looks like, a rich person's home. And that's where they get to stay for like 3 days. But of course, the problem is that people start dying. And one of the cool parts about this, and in fact, they talk about it even on the description on the back, is the underlying element of the woman who is the main character. She's actually having dreams about things that are happening, deaths that are taking place. And so the question is she causing these deaths? Is she actually the person behind these deaths? Or are they only in her dreams? Or is it something, otherworldly, something out there, some sort of monster, something. And that's what's also interesting to me about this movie, is that everything's really kind of ambiguous all the way through. It's hard to figure out just what we're trying to figure out. It's like, well, what is the twist going to be at the end of this movie? Or is there going to be a twist? And I would say that, first of all, I enjoyed the movie. It kept me interested. And it's got some pacing issues occasionally, but it's not that different from most other horror movies, especially more indie horror movies from 1982, from that era. Every once in a while, the acting seemed a little wooden to me, but then in the very next scene, I thought, well, actually, this is pretty good, especially during the intense scenes when they're yelling at each other and fighting and arguing and they're worried about stuff. Those scenes, I'm like, well, they're playing that energy off pretty good. So, I think if I didn't mention it, the film was produced in Georgia. That's where this one came from. And it was eventually distributed for its short theatrical run by 21st Century Film Corporation. It was actually classified as a video nasty in the United Kingdom back in the 80s. And so after I watched it, I often wonder what in the world caused this to be a video nasty, because it's just, there's not not a lot of sex. I don't think there's any sex scenes. There's one kind of nudity scene, with one of the actresses in the shower, but very mild stuff. And I can only guess maybe it was just the gore. And the kills are good in this. I enjoyed the kills. I enjoyed, I won't say, I'll just call it effects that you see at the end. The makeup effects. And as far as early 80s slashers go, this one was a fun one to watch. And I think part of that was due to it being sort of a ghost story as well as just a typical, oh my gosh, somebody's killing us off one by one story. The Arrow disc looked really good to me. This is actually came out in 2017 is when they released this disc. So this is about 4 years old at the time of this recording. New to me, of course. Take a look at the inside. This was back when they were still doing dual format. So you got the Blu-ray release with the same art as the main cover art, and you've got the DVD release with the alternate art. Try to get the glare off there. Let me take that out. Actually, I'll leave that in, and I'll just take the slip out because the slip has different art. This is the main art that you get. Now, on the flip side, you see what I am assuming was probably the original poster art or VHS art, which I kind of like because it doesn't, I don't know, this kind of, sometimes the newer artwork, I'm assuming this is newer, sometimes gives away a major point of the story of the movie. But that's all right. It's, you know, it looks good anyhow. Lots of special features on this one. And just a few of them, you can go online to read all these if you want, but a few of them that I thought were pretty cool were that you have audio commentary with writer-director J.S. Cardone and actress Carol Cottonbrook, and executive in charge of production Eric Weston, moderated by Ewan Kent. And Carol Cottonbrook, the actress, she wound up married to Cardone. So I don't know if that happened during this movie or if they were already married or they, you know, or they met on this movie. But either way, they were married. I don't know if they still are, but whatever the case, they wound up married, the actress and the director. Audio commentary with The Hysteria Continues, those fellows with a podcast of the same name. Isolated score selections and an audio interview with the composer Robert Folk. And a Nightmare Island, The Making of the Slayer, a documentary with tons of interviews. And it has, I mean, it runs for about an hour. I think it's a little under an hour. So there's a lot of information on there. And there are just a ton of other special features here. I'm trying to just kind of parse out some of the cooler stuff. Return to Tybee, the locations of the Slayer, a featurette revisiting the shooting locations on that island called Tybee Island in Georgia. And then there's another feature called the Tybee Post Theater Experience. Join the audience of the Tybee Post Theater, one of the film's key locations, for this very special hometown screening of the Slayer. Includes event introduction, feature-length audience reaction track, and a post-screening Q&A. Still gallery and original theatrical trailer. Close it out. So anyhow, lots of stuff here, and I didn't get through all of these. I just I watched a few of these special features, and I sampled some of the others just so I could get a feel. And but I wanted to pump this video out before it got too late, because I want to make sure and get a video up today so you all can watch. So thanks for joining me on this one from Arrow Video Shocktober sale. And this was The Slayer from 1982. Hey, again, check us out on social media and our Patreon, patreon.com/popretro, and I'll see you here tomorrow with another video.